Tokyo has denounced a Chinese export ban on dual-use goods to Japan.
我が国のみをターゲットにした今般の措置というものは
This latest measure, which targets only our country, deviates significantly from international norms, is absolutely unacceptable and extremely regrettable. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and our embassy in China have lodged a formal protest with the Chinese side, strongly objecting to the measure and demanding its withdrawal.
China's Commerce Ministry announced the ban on Tuesday. Dual-use goods are products or technology with both civilian and military uses, such as drones, sensors, or encryption software. But Beijing hasn't specified what items would be banned. The move comes after months of tensions between China and Japan after Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae suggested a Chinese attack on Taiwan could trigger a military response from Tokyo. For more on Beijing's dual-use export ban, our reporter Lery spoke with Professor Stephen Nagy of the International Christian University in Tokyo. He's also the Senior Fellow and China Project Lead at the MacDonald-Laurier Institute.
Can you briefly describe what these export controls are seeking to achieve and why China has decided to implement them? How related are they to what Takaichi Sanae said in November about Japan involving itself in a Taiwan crisis?
China sees Japan very much as the leading middle power, that if it's successful in talking about Taiwan publicly in the way that Takaichi did, other middle powers, whether it's Canada or Australia, India, may also start to talk about Taiwan in much more explicit ways. And China would like to prevent this. If they can crush Japan's attempts to talk about Taiwan and what a Taiwan security issue would mean for Japan, that they're going to do this to all other countries. So it's a strong message to all middle powers that, it's our side, it's us or them.
Do you think that these export controls are more for the headlines and for the performance to demonstrate that China is taking this matter very seriously with regards to Japan? Or do you think they actually will have significant impacts on the Japanese economy, industry, businesses in particular, or sectors in particular?
Japan is a bit of a canary in the coal mine in terms of managing the risk associated with China. It's the most deeply engaged country, and it's experienced most of the economic coercion dating back to the mid-90s. So its companies have really already shifted and made some of the adjustments to deal with this kind of economic coercion. And what we've seen is that companies are now making in China for Chinese, by Chinese, with Japanese technology. So if there is some kind of domestic pressure, it's only going to hurt Chinese consumers. And then they shifted a lot of their production to Southeast Asia and India for global export, and those are seen as more reliable. We should remember, though, and we should watch the trends right now, that Japanese businesses are leaving China. If one business leaves, all of them have to leave because they complement each other. So what we're seeing, again, in response to the export controls and other pressure from China on Japanese businesses domestically, is that they are packing up and leaving, and the other companies are leaving. And what this does to the Chinese economy is it affects the 6 million or 7 million Chinese citizens that won't have jobs when Japanese leave.
What is the role of the U.S. in this ongoing diplomatic row that is now turning into an economic one? We know that Trump plans on meeting Xi Jinping in April. We know that Japan is pushing for a meeting between him and Sanae before that.
It has tested, I think, the U.S.-Japan alliance, as well as the faith that many countries have in the United States in intervening in the region. There is an expectation that President Trump will visit Beijing and that there will be some kind of economic deal. For Prime Minister Takaichi, she wants to meet Mr. Trump. She wants to put on the table the challenges in the region and re-emphasize that in order to deal with those challenges and make America great, Japan is that key partner. And without Japan, Takaichi is going to tell the story that Mr. Trump will not be able to make America great. And I think in many areas, she's correct. In terms of diplomatic engagement with China and Southeast Asia and India, there's no better partner than Japan because of its geographic proximity, its understanding of the region, and strong relations with Southeast Asia and India, and very nuanced relations with China. And if the United States is interested in a trade deal, or if it's interested in constraining China, it absolutely needs Japan as a close partner.
That was Professor Stephen Nagy from the International Christian University.